What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Big Dog Brett. Thanks so much for tuning in. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and share. Today, I'm going to be touching on the NCAA investigation violations against Michigan. This came out yesterday, and I wanted to see if there was any substance to it. It has not taken long to uncover some information. Normally, NCAA investigations take quite a while to kind of wade through all of the stuff that goes along with them, but today, I was very surprised at how quickly this has come about. This is coming off of the heels of Jim Harbaugh. I guess there was some recruiting violations or something, and he had a 3-game suspension at the beginning of the season. So now here we are, 7 games in, 7 or 6 or 7, depending on your team. With recruiting violations no longer being the issue, with NCAA investigating sign stealing. Now, sign stealing is something that goes on in every sport that has signs. And the rules kind of are like this. If you can kind of decipher it in person, like if you go over there and the guy's saying number one for fastball, and then the guy throws a fastball. Well, the next time you see the third base coach going, the dugout coach throwing number 1 to the pitcher. I can't talk this morning. Number 1 to the pitcher, then you're going to yell at your batter, he's going to throw a fastball. That's always been legal. The problem comes into play where you start getting into going to other games, recording the other teams, what they're doing, deciphering the plays after the play call has been made. So the team will make a sign, and in person it's kind of hard to tell, okay, what's the play going to be? Well, when you can go back and you can watch it a bazillion times, you can go, okay, every time that they held up this sign and they did this, then that meant that they were going to do an RPO, or they meant it was going to be a handoff or whatever. And there were a couple of teams here recently that had said that they thought that Michigan knew the play before they ever snapped the ball, like before the opposing team ever snapped the ball. Now, you kind of hear that sometimes, and there's usually not a lot of legitimacy to it. But this particular time, there seems to be some legitimacy to it, with the NCAA getting evidence that says they have a person of interest, and it's one of the program analysts. They're calling out a Connor Stalions. He's described as a low-level staffer with a military background. And the inquiry is saying that it is an elaborate scouting system involving personnel being sent to games to determine opponents' play calling signals. One of the staffers was quoted a staffer from one of Michigan's opponents who said, "We had an inclination before we played them that they were sending advanced scouts and videoing signals." Now, Jim Harbaugh vehemently denies any of this stuff. He vehemently denies it, but he also vehemently denied some of the other accusations to which he was ultimately punished for. Said he was unaware of any sign stealing that may have taken place over the past 2 seasons. He denied any staff member personnel was assigned to off-campus scouting trips. I got to be honest with you. I think that's a load of horse, because how can you have staffers going to other games, recording signals, recording plays, having that brought to offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators, given that information being put out on the field, and Coach Harbaugh has absolutely no clue this is going on. Number one, you're either lying or you're completely incompetent. You should absolutely know if you've got staffers going to other games and stuff like this is going on. The person in question, Stalions, is a retired Marine captain who works in the recruiting department. He worked as a volunteer assistant coach for Michigan program since 2015 and was hired as an off-field analyst last year. It is widely known that most of Stalions' work involves interpreting signals from opposing teams. He has been photographed on the Michigan sideline during previous seasons, standing next to former defensive coordinator Mike McDonald and Don Brown. His LinkedIn profile reportedly describes one of his skills as identifying the opponent's most likely course of action and most dangerous course of action, which apparently has now been deleted. So what you've got here is you've got an individual who is self-proclaimed adept at figuring out what opponents are going to do. He's standing next to the offensive and defensive coordinators on the field, and he's telling them what's going to happen. Now, there's no way that these offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators are that they think that this guy is just some kind of psychic, and so that they just blindly follow what he's saying. They're going to want proof and evidence. They knew. This is very clear that they knew. I mean, they've already found this much information. It's been less than 24 hours. This very well may be the end of Jim Harbaugh. They were in the process of looking at some type of renegotiation for his contract or extension to his contract, excuse me. And then he's been flirting with the NFL every year. This is just kind of over the top. This is a bad look for Michigan. Michigan fans don't deserve this. The Michigan players don't deserve this. Because it's highly likely that the players had no idea this was going on. Players get out there, they're told a play, and that's the formation they run and falls up, and it just so happens that it matches up exactly with what the defense is doing or the offense is doing. So it is possible that the players didn't know. It is possible the players did know, but I would lean more likely into the not knowing part. I don't think the players knew anything about this. I think this is on the leadership of this football team, and I would be very surprised if Michigan's athletic administration doesn't take this very seriously. And depending on what the NCAA does, this could be postseason ban. This could be sanctions. This could be scholarship revocations. This could be all kinds of stuff. There's really no rules for what, there are rules, but there's really no written down punishments that the NCAA can hand out. They can pretty much do whatever they want to this point. This affects so many things. When you have a team who has likely already scouted all the other teams they're going to play, at least the ones of importance, right? They've got film study, they've got science study. Now you're forcing other teams to have to go in and change all their signaling. There's a ton of things that have to happen here. This affects the lines in Vegas. There's a million things going on here, and this is all caused by somebody wanting to cheat, essentially. I would normally say, hey, innocent until proven guilty, which, fine, innocent until proven guilty. But that having been said, if all of this is true, and a lot of it appears to be, there's a lot of information here already. This is, I don't know that Michigan will be able to recover from this just by simply trying to sweep it under the rug. This will be something that Michigan will have to answer for some period of time. They're going to be called cheaters for forever because of this. This is a big black eye. This is a very serious allegation. This is a very serious violation if it's true. And it looks to be. I would not want to be a Michigan fan and have to deal with this from other fan bases, because you're going to hear the only reason you beat us is because you're cheating. You guys couldn't beat us if you played fair. This is bad. Now, I've been doing a little bit of research on this, and I will absolutely tell you that I really think that this could be solved very easily. Very easily. I'm not saying that there's anything we can do about what's already happened. The NCAA has to figure that out, implement whatever needs to happen. Coaches need to be fired if that needs to happen. Team needs bowl bans if that needs to happen. There's a lot to unpack with this. What I will also say, though, is that there is a solution to stop this moving forward. There is a solution that will stop every bit of this. And it's been happening in the NFL since, I think, 1996 or something crazy like that. So you're essentially talking a solution that's been in place for 27 years in the pros. And it is called one-way communication with the leader of the offense or the leader of the defense. So in the NFL, they have a broadcast, like, little speaker in the helmets for players to one-way communicate with the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, head coach, whatever it is, but it's one way. So you could give it to the quarterback on the offense, and you could give it to the, let's just say, the captain, the linebacker on the defense, right? Typically annotated with a little green dot. So you would see who on the field has that. And this is monitored very closely by the NFL. They pay attention to this. These programs make bazillions of dollars. You're talking about putting technology in one helmet on offense, one helmet on defense, 4 if you want to have backup helmets for these guys. And then that person then on the field would then relay signals to the team. But then you wouldn't need signals. You wouldn't need these big giant boards. You wouldn't need guys standing over there wearing 5 different color hats and all kind of weird ponchos and all kind of other weird stuff that they're doing. It's just not necessary. And it also interferes with the fan experience, because some of these assistants will hold up giant cardboard, linoleum, whatever it is they hold up to prevent people from being able to see the coach out there. All of that would go away. So the fans would then be able to see better, and you wouldn't have to worry about sign stealing, and it would be a more effective communication. It would be faster communication. And it's really a very simple solution here. The coaches already walk around with headsets on. So I don't understand it. You can broadcast chat back and forth between the sideline and the coordinator boxes on the upper levels, but you can't communicate helmet to helmet or headset to helmet to a player on the field. That could be fixed immediately. But my opinion on this, Michigan, if you're cheating, I feel sorry for the players if they didn't know. If they did know, burn them all at the stake. Cheating, there's no reason to cheat. You have an absolutely elite football team. You have some of the most talented football players in the country. You have a very, very talented coaching staff, with the exception of the outliers here. Jim Harbaugh is a talented coach. The other coaches on the staff are talented coaches. And I understand the drive and the need and the want to win, but you can't let that surpass your integrity. You can't cheat. It detracts from the entire sport. It detracts from the culture. It detracts from the history, from the distinguished university that Michigan is. And if he's cheating, ban him from college football forever. That's all I can tell you. Other than that, I don't know what else to do. Absolutely unacceptable if it's true. So if you're a Michigan fan and you stand by the cheating, you're just as bad. But I've seen loads and loads of Michigan fans that have come out and say that they do not agree with this. They do not want this for their team. This is not the way they want to win. They want to play and be fair like everybody else, which I commend. That's the way it should be. So hats off to those guys. But those of you that are like, yeah, we don't care, it's okay if he cheats, everybody cheats, that's unacceptable. And by the way, for those of you that are going to jump down in the comment section and start talking about Alabama or Georgia or Tennessee or Oklahoma or Texas or anything, anybody that cheats should receive a postseason ban for something like this. That's just the way I feel. So we'll know more here in the coming few days. We'll give you guys some more videos. I really appreciate you guys being on here. If you made it this far in the video, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up, leave a comment below what you think what should happen, and that helps me beat the YouTube algorithm. Share the video. I appreciate you guys. Even though I can't talk today, I appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for having a great day. Oh yeah, I couldn't talk. God bless. Go Dogs.